and straight up. Kung-ye. Okay, now this is for the basic program for our belt graduation for our green stripe belts, okay? What they're gonna be doing is performing the stances, okay? So I wanna go through these so you guys can practice these at home, okay? Now, we'll have somebody leading it, so just watch the instructor do it with them, right? When you get more advanced, you're gonna have to be in deeper stances, but right now this is the basic program, so just go through these. So I'm gonna have Instructor Scout demonstrate these, okay? So the first stance, facing the camera, is gonna be chariot. Good, good. Now let's do this so they can see this way. So tray up, attention, feet and hands together, okay? Next will be kung-ye, and that's bow, okay? Next one is jumbi. So jumbi, hands up, step out, hands down. Okay, that's jumbi, okay? Next one is horseback riding stance. All right, so let me have you get into horseback riding stance. So knees bent, hands at your sides, back straight, very good. Next one, turtle stance. Okay, so this one, keep your legs that way and just have your elbows come to the inside of your thighs. I should be able to rest something on your back right there, okay? So let's go over those just really quickly, those first 5, okay? So again, we've got chariot, which is attention. We've got kung-ye, which is bow. We've got jumbi, which is ready position. Feet about shoulder width, hands at your sides, okay? Imagine somebody's grabbing onto you and you're breaking out of that grip, okay? Then we've got horseback riding stance, okay? Knees bent, low stance, okay? And then we've got turtle stance, which is like this. Okay, now let's go over the next 5. The next 5 we have rock stance. So rock stance, you're gonna drop down, knees, arms in close, just like that, okay? Toad stance, same thing, just have your knees go wider, okay? And this stance, it's harder if I was trying to knock Instructor Scout over. If she's in the rock stance, so go back to that, it's really easy for me to push her over, okay? Go back to where that was. Now, if she goes into that toad stance, now, it's a lot harder to push her over, okay? And again, we wouldn't stay in these stances for self-defense, but there's a time we might, if we're falling down, we get in it fast, block, defend, roll, get back up to our feet and keep going, okay? Next one, this can be a little bit challenging, but this is a fun one. Snake stance, okay? So the easiest way to do this is first just crouch down on your toes, on your balls of your feet, and now shoot one leg out. There you go, and that's a snake stance, okay? And we can also say switch feet, and do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so we got that. This can be a sweep technique, a sweep kick later on, okay? Next one is gonna be crane stance, okay? And if you've watched the movie Karate Kid, they got this one down. Okay, so we got 2 ways we can do this. One is with our arms out wide, right? So we've got that, and bring your knee up. And the other is with your arms in close. Either way, the point of this one is to practice our balance. Whenever we do a kick, we're always on one foot, so we wanna practice that, okay? And now one more, tiger stance, also known as a cat stance, okay? So she's got a little bit of weight, I'll do it sideways like this, on your ball of your front foot. So this one I could easily kick from here, okay? Also, I could be attacking, if we're sparring, I can actually stomp and attack my opponent's front foot just like this, and that's that cat stance, okay? So let's go over those again one more time. So we've got rock stance, just gonna drop down, rock stance. Toad stance, knees out wide, okay? Snake stance, crouch down, shoot one leg out, okay? And then our crane stance. And actually one more after the crane stance. Crane stance, arms out wide, and crane stance, arms in close, okay? And then the other one we're doing is the tiger stance, also known as a cat stance, okay? Just like this, perfect, okay? Now, next 5 we're gonna do, okay? Next one we're gonna do is gonna be one of the hardest ones. It's a hidden stance, okay? So what you're gonna do is, from this position, you're gonna step back, and then you're gonna raise your hands up. And that's it. Okay, so that's the hidden stance, okay? Reason for this now, let's do the same thing now from our self-defense stance, which is very similar. Self-defense stance, you're gonna start feet about shoulder width, take one step back, and usually I'm gonna prefer usually the right leg. Some people are left-handed, do the other side. But 1 foot back, and now from here, pivot slightly to change 45 degrees. I'm still looking forward, but my body's not squared up, so I'm turned slightly here. Next, bend your knees. Bend your knees, and keep your hands up, okay? So that's my self-defense stance. Try that again, okay? So ready? Feet about shoulder width, step 1 foot back, pivot, bend your knees, and hands up, okay? Now, let's go to that hidden stance. The hidden stance should be similar to the self-defense stance, okay? But it's a non-aggressive stance. So if I have somebody being mean to me, or maybe they're trying to throw a punch or something like that, and I'm a little bit worried, I don't wanna go ahead, one of 2 things happen. This person either runs away or they get aggressive and they start fighting. So I don't necessarily want to just start off in a self-defense stance, in a fighting stance. I don't want that. I want to be in a hidden stance. This person's being aggressive. Hey, let's talk. can you please back up a little bit, okay? From here, this is very similar to my self-defense stance, but it's meant to look non-aggressive, and that's why it's called the hidden stance, okay? So let's do those again. So we're facing this way. So we've got first our hidden stance, step back, hands up, slightly bend the knees, okay? Now let's go back, self-defense stance, here. Okay, now we've also got a kicking stance, and this is for the sport aspect of Taekwondo. Sport aspect, we turn all the way sideways. Okay, so we turn all the way sideways this way, or we turn all the way sideways this way. Okay, I'm still looking forward, but I'm turned all the way sideways, not at a 45. Okay, so that's my kicking stance. Two more. Front stance, okay, which is also known as a deep stance. Okay, my front knee is bent, back leg is straight, shoulders are squared up. Okay, and then we've got a back stance. And the back stance, if my feet were to come together, they'd form an L. I'm gonna have my back foot, 60% of the weight on my back foot, both knees bent. I'm looking forward, but my shoulders are squared off this way, okay? So going over those 5 stances again, we've got hidden stance, very good. We've got self-defense stance. We've got a kicking stance, turn all the way sideways. And then we've got a front stance, also known as a deep stance, and then our back stance. Okay, now those are all the stances. Again, the students don't have to have all those memorized. The instructors will do it, and we just want the students going through and doing some of those and getting at least half of those down really well. As we progress, as we especially work towards our black belt, those stances are going to come in very handy. They're going to help us with throws, with takedowns, with self-defense, with a bunch of stuff. And that stance is the pillar. It's the foundation of our self-defense.